What is up, everybody? Welcome to the dungeon. I'm Analytical Mystic. I'm about to do tarot readings for the next week for all zodiac signs. Keep in mind these readings are general. They may not resonate with everybody. What I'll be doing is I'll be pulling one card for the overall energy of the next week, and then I will pull another card for the love energy of the next week. So we'll be starting with Aries, and let's go ahead and hop into it. Alright, let's get a card for Aries. What kind of energy will Aries encounter over the next week? What is going on with my Aries? Okay, we have the world. So you are coming to the conclusion of a period in your life. You may have been doing a lot of research, a lot of learning. Perhaps you're graduating from some classes you've been taking. You may have recently been having to write some essays, just doing a lot of brainstorming, writing, expressing yourself through the text. Whether or not this conclusion is the way that you wanted it to be, it is the way that it is supposed to be. And I think innately you know that, so that even if this is very upsetting situation for you, you have a level of acceptance there because, you're accepting what life is throwing your way, rolling with the punches instead of fighting against the waves. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life. Oh, shit. Half the deck just fell out, you guys know. We just need one card. Okay, let's get a card for Aries' love life over the next week. What's going on, Aries, in your love life over the next week? Let's figure it out, shall we? At least get a little bit of an idea. My bad, you guys. So in your love life, we have the Nine of Wands. So with this card, you are really trying to cut out all the dead weight from your current relationship or your past relationship. It's time to let go of the past. Things were not so good back then. And in order for you to move forward and have a chance at a healthy and happy relationship, you gotta let this shit go. So that's something that you may be working hard on. You may be trying to express your feelings just to get it out. I don't know if this is to your partner, but like if you don't have a partner, perhaps you'll be doing your writing to get your feelings out or doing something creative. If you do not already do things like that, you would benefit from doing it. It'll help you process things and get them out. You'd be surprised. And watch, you'll end up picking it up as a habit. But you shall see. Come back and tell me if you do. Alright, let's move on. Taurus. Let's see what's going on with my Taurians over the next week. What is going on with Taurus over the next week? What kind of energy will Taurus encounter? What is going on with Taurus over the next week? Okay, cards. Shuffle for me. I just keep wanting to fall out instead, and it's always more than one. I just need one. Let's see what's going on, you guys. We have the Justice card. So at this point, it's time to make a decision. If it's not time for you to make a decision, there is a decision coming in that affects you directly. Hopefully this is coming from somebody who is impartial. That way they can look at the situation from a, a reasonable and logical standpoint instead of being so personally involved, but not being so cold-hearted, kind of finding a balance of the two. Whereas if somebody that you knew or that knew the other party involved, they may be biased. So it'd definitely be helpful to get the opinion from somebody else. But there is a very important decision that needs to be made, or you will be informed about very soon. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Taurus. And if you have got to make this decision, you need to try to be as non-biased as possible. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Taurus. What do you got? Taurus, we have the Six of Swords. So it's time to move on. It's time to take note of everything that has occurred, all the lessons from the experiences you have had in your past relationships, and move forward. Um, some of you may be having a very difficult time with this. You may be having a hard time letting go, especially if you're a little extra attached. Um, the deeper the emotion, the more difficult the feelings. So, the more you care, the harder it is to move beyond this. So, even if you are staying in a relationship and, let's say, you guys decided to stay together after dealing with some rough patches, it's still going to be hard for you to let that go. And it's really important for you to be able to do that. I feel like I'm repeating myself. For you to have a chance at the relationship being healthy in the future. Otherwise, you're just wasting each other's time. And if you don't actively work to heal and move on in general, if you are single, you're just going to be wasting your time and somebody else's time in the future. So it's something that you definitely need to work on. Gemini, let's see what's going on with you. My Jimmy Gems. What kind of energy will Gemini encounter? What is going on with Gemini? What kind of energy will Gemini encounter over the next week? Gemini, you have the Emperor, so right now you are kind of like in get your shit together mode. So you're trying to be really responsible. You may be making all your to-do lists and getting on them as soon as possible instead of like setting them aside and delaying them because you don't want to do them. Now, if you're in your get shit, let's get shit done mode, you're feeling very driven right now. You know what you want to do. And you may even be micromanaging, you may be a little bit controlling over a situation, possibly even possessive, and you really need to check that behavior because it can be counterproductive to what you are trying to achieve and also make you very difficult to work with. I don't know if you care about that, but it helps to be able to work well with other people. All right, let's see what's going on in Gemini's love life. What is going on with Gemini? Gemini, you have the Hanged Man. So you were in a period in your love life where there's really not a lot going on, whether you were with somebody or not. There's just not a lot going on. You may be in this period of stagnation in general, where you may be kind of frustrated about your situation, but currently you're not doing anything about it. I think because you're still trying to figure out how you feel and what you can do about it. Right now, there's just like this underlying unhappiness and frustration in regards to your love life, whether you're with somebody or not. And I think it's important to try to figure out where these feelings are coming from and try to work through them, so that you can regain forward momentum. I feel like these are going a little quicker than usual. Messages are pretty direct though. Alright, let's see what's going on with Cancer. What kind of energy will Cancer encounter over the next week? What is going on with Cancer? Cancer, you have the Nine of Cups. So you're going to be getting what you want. And you know what? I'm going to tell you this. Even if you don't get what you want, you're going to end up getting what you want. Like, the situation that you may feel like you have lucked out of, really, it has caused you to luck in. It's just leads you in a different path, on a different path, where you will actually get what it is that you want. You just have to trust that. If you trust that, you can get past the frustration of the moment and just keep doing what you're doing, knowing and having faith that it's going to pay off. Okay, Cancer, let's see what's going on in your love life. What is going on in Cancer's love life over the next week? Energy will Cancer and Cancer. Okay, we have the Four of Swords. So right now, in regards to your love life, you may be withdrawing a little bit, whether you are with somebody or not. Um, you're kind of, you don't really feel like dealing with anybody or talking to a lot of people right now. So even if you are talking to people, you're just not as talkative. I think really what it comes down to is you have a lot on your mind, in regards to what has happened in your relationship. I feel like there is a theme here. There are things that have happened in your relationship or in your relationships in the past that you are working on moving on from, you're working on healing from. Because again, as I've already said for the other signs who have the same vibe going on, you can't have a healthy relationship in the future if you don't deal with these issues that you have from the past. But right now, you may not be fully aware that you're functioning on that level. So, taking time to yourself is going to help you be able to identify this more and find the source of the feelings. Okay, Leo, what is going on with my Leos over the next week? What kind of energy will Leo encounter over the next week? Leo, you have the world. So things are coming to a conclusion, they're coming to an end, they're coming to a resolution, whether you like it or not, whether or not you like the outcome of the current events, doesn't matter. It doesn't change the way things are. And so even though you may be unhappy with what's going on, you're trying not to focus too much on that because you know that things are happening the way that they should. So you do have that trust and that faith in the universe that even if this doesn't work out, it's going to work out for you. So again, same vibe that I was seeing with another sign. Just wanted, it was what Cancer that I just read about having faith you're going to get what you want, even if you're not getting what you want, even if it looks like you're not getting what you want, you know. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Leo. What is going on in Leo's love life over the next week? What energy will Leo encounter over the next week? Leo, you have the Five of Swords, so you may be dealing with some difficulty in regards to your love life, some drama, some stress is coming up between you and your partner. It needs to be addressed, though. It needs to be worked out and worked through, otherwise the problem is just going to gestate and it's going to continue to grow and become even more of a problem that potentially cannot be managed by any other way than separating. So if you really care about this person in this relationship, now you'll address the situation now, no matter how difficult it may be, whether or not you get what you want from the situation. It still needs to be addressed now so that, nobody wastes each other's time, because this is something that will continue to happen. And so if you can't work through it now, it's going to have a more difficult long-term effect. And perhaps you'll be too entangled by then to be able to exit the situation. So be very, very careful. Very fine line there. Very fine line between toxicity between partners and just difficulty that just needs to be worked through. So, just be wary of the line, the side of the line that you're on. Okay. All right, let's move on to Virgo. What is going on with my Virgos over the next week? What kind of energy will Virgo encounter over the next week? What's going on with Virgo? What kind of energy will they encounter over the next week? With Virgo, you have the King of Wands, so very determined, very driven, very clear-minded about what it is that you want. Feeling very passionate about what it is that you want and what you're doing. You may be in a position of control here, perhaps a manager, supervisor, somebody just in a training position. Either way, you're in a leadership role of some sort. You don't necessarily have to be top boss to be in a leadership role. But you feel like you're very knowledgeable in your field. You feel very comfortable and confident in your knowledge of your field and what you're doing. So that's really good. I think with some of you, it may get to the point where you're overcompensating, where you may be behaving as if you're somewhat arrogant, to kind of make yourself feel better about your insecurities. So it's like you may be feeling like you're not doing something that you feel like you should be doing. And in order to make yourself feel better about that, you're kind of exaggerating your importance. And look, this is not saying that you're unimportant. Okay, it just means that like you're gassing yourself up. Like this may be leading to arrogance. And not arrogance that is in just like straight up, the negative expressions of arrogance. So be careful with that. Because, I mean, yeah, you do know how to handle things properly. You can manage things very, very well. You're very business oriented. You look at the facts, but at the same time, this can cause friction with other people because you can be also very, very hypercritical of them and what they're doing with their work. And you need to back up a little bit because just because they don't do things your way does not mean that the way that they are doing it is the wrong way. It's just the way that works better for them. It may not make sense to you, but as long as things are getting done the way they need to get done, as long as the outcome is the way the outcome needs to be, maybe you should step back a little bit. Just saying, I feel like you can be a little bit overbearing with some of the people that you are in collaboration with, and you might want to just take a moment to step back a little bit and be open to hearing what other people have to say. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Virgo. What is going on in Virgo's love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Virgo encounter in their love life over the next week? All right, unfortunately, Virgo, you also got the Five of Swords. So you may also be dealing with some very difficult times in your love life, be it with a partner or being on your own. You're struggling a lot. You're feeling very shitty about your situation. You're feeling very insecure about your situation, but at the same time very prickly, which is because you're insecure. Like you are quick to feel as if you are being insulted or treated badly because you just really feel bad yourself. You feel bad about yourself. So if anybody comes says anything close to sounding like a criticism, you're going to be on them like white on rice. It's going to cause a lot of problems. It's going to cause more problems. So again, take a moment, step back. Okay, don't react so impulsively. That may be something that could definitely be detrimental to your partnerships at the moment. Um, this is an obstacle, a recurring obstacle, I believe, that needs to be managed. You need to learn how to manage this. That's why it's a recurring obstacle, because until you take note of what's going on that you are consistently doing that causes or leads to the drama, things aren't going to change. It's just going to keep happening. You're still going to engage in these behaviors that lead to drama. It's just going to be drama with different people. So you might need to take a really good look in the mirror, but at the same time, take a step back. Because I feel like for anybody, it's difficult to look in the mirror. But on top of it, you're very hypercritical. And so there needs to be a balance between facing the reality of who you are in regards to relationships and partnerships and not beating yourself up over who you are and your behavior, because that's going to be counterproductive and will be toxic. So, you just really need to take the time to try to address this in a manner that's respectful and responsible and work through things, because it has the potential to strengthen the relationship. If you were able to do this and turn it into something positive where you can both grow, um, that potential is there, but you have to put the work in. You have to put the work in. All right. And, sometimes that just is a deterrent, right? All right, let's move on to Libra. What is going on with Libra over the next week? What kind of energy will Libra encounter over the next week? What is going on with Libra? Libra, you have the Queen of Wands. So you are also here feeling very confident about what you were doing. in your life right now. You're feeling very good about yourself. You feel beautiful. You feel radiant. You feel knowledgeable. Just again, you feel very confident about who you are and what you have to offer the world, what you have to offer the people around you, or if you are trying to find a job or whatever, what you have to offer the company. You know you've got it. It's just a matter of whether or not they see it. But I think that you were at a point where even if other people do not see it, you're okay because you see it and you know the right people will. You know that you will come into alignment with the right people. This is another thing that's been going on. If it's not working out right now, it's because it's supposed to work out later under different circumstances. You're not in the right circumstances at the moment for it to work out, and that's why it's not working out. And I think that you are also having the understanding and acceptance of this because you know there's only so much action you can take in life, and the rest of the way you got to trust the universe and just roll with the punches. So you're trying to be optimistic about rolling with these punches. Like, even if you do encounter situations where there are negative aspects of who you are brought into the situation, you don't feel too bad about yourself. And it's not meant as in a way that's cold hearted or whatnot. You just know who you are and you know what you stand for. And you know if anybody sees you in any other way that it is inaccurate. And I think you don't care too much about clearing that up, about making it more of an accurate perspective because you see you. And that's what really matters. That's what's most important. You feel is that you see you, you feel confident about who you are, and you do. So, like, whatever you encounter at this moment, you're going to be able to take it on with grace because you have the ability to make it work. See what's going on in your love life, Libra. What is going on in Libra's love life over the next week? Libra, you have the Seven of Cups, so you may be dating multiple people, talking to multiple people. You have different options in regards to partners. Some of you may be actually in your head a lot about relationships or just fantasizing about being with someone in general, having a partner in general. I feel like you're in your head a lot. You're thinking a lot about all the different things that could happen with the different people that are on your mind. And just kind of trying to imagine how it would work out long term and if that is the way you want things to be. Um, so now is not so much of a period of actual action, of tangible action in your love life as much as it is a period of kind of reflection, but not just reflection, because reflection implies looking back on something. This is also you kind of looking forward and kind of thinking about the way things would be based upon how they are now, the way you see the situation as it is now. And just I think through this process you're going to become more clear. It's going to bring more clarity to you in regards to what it is that you want from a relationship, out of a relationship, and from a partner. So even though there may not be a lot going on right now, this is a very important period in your love life. It may not seem like it, but it is, because it's like a time for you to get your head right. All right. Let's see what's going on with my Scorpios now. Okay, what is up with Scorpio over the next week? What kind of energy will Scorpio encounter over the next week? What is going on with my Scorpios? Scorpio, you have the Devil card, so be wary of overindulgence, okay? However this may come, whatever form this may come in the form of alcohol, drugs, other substances, substance use. This could come from hypersexual activity. Um, you could just be thinking very obsessively about certain things and not in a way that's productive, a way that's just it's all consuming and it's definitely holding you back in different ways. Whatever this is that you are tied to, it's holding you back. And it's definitely causing strife in your life, whether you recognize it or not. Like, you may think because there is nothing happening directly as a result of these actions that there's no problem, but there are things that are happening indirectly, and they are just as big of a problem. Just because they don't happen directly does not mean that they are not there and they don't matter and that they cannot be resolved by completely eliminating the situation. So, but you may be having a hard time even seeing that you need to sever yourself from this tie. You're just like so caught up in your mind. And you definitely need to be careful because this could very much drag you down. I think that some of you will be able to recognize this tendency and check it before it causes a lot of damage. But unfortunately, there are many of you that this influence is going to be um, counterproductive to the things you're trying to achieve in your life. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Scorpio. What's going on in your love life? Hopefully, there's bit more positive energy going on there. Let's see what we got going on. All right. Scorpio, you have the Ace of Cups, so you are feeling very, very strongly about your partner, perhaps even infatuated. It's not just lust, you also feel love. It's overwhelming. You did not expect this. It's kind of driving you crazy because you feel so much love you don't know what to do with it. Because I think that for some reason you can't fully express it the way you want to. And so these feelings can actually be difficult to manage because they're so intense and you can't express them the way you want to. Some of you in your partnership or your relationship, you and or your partner may be experiencing very extreme emotions, perhaps even huge outbursts. It's because you're feeling so deeply and intensely right now that anything can trigger you, and it could come out in a very negative way. Like, some of you may be perceived or you may actually be behaving controlling and manipulative. And this is dangerous no matter what. But you're also dealing with people's emotions here. And it's just not cool. Like, you don't know how what you say can affect somebody long term. And we all know you have a very, very sharp tongue. So some of you just may not even care how you may be actively trying to make this person feel bad. And I would advise against it. There are better ways you can handle conflict, like walking away, instead of trying to make somebody feel shitty because you feel shitty. It's not necessarily a healthy way to be in relationships and partnerships in general. Um, but there are some of you who, say if you're single and you have no interest, you just have this deep desire and longing for a relationship, for a partnership, somebody you can share your love with, somebody you can share your life with, somebody you can share your body with. You just want a partner, and it's a very overwhelming feeling right now. It's a very overwhelming feeling. Like, you may be feeling really, really bad about yourself not having one. So I would try to find a way not to get caught up in that mindset, because it's not going to help your situation. If anything, it's just going to make you feel worse about yourself. Just because it's not happening for you right now doesn't mean that it won't happen. It's just not time yet. There are other things that you need to be doing. You just may not recognize them because you're just so caught up in your grief about the loss of not having a relationship, or the loss of a relationship, or just not having one in general. It can be all consuming. So definitely just be wary of how you are allowing these things to control you, and whether or not you are allowing these things to control you. All right? Be mindful, you guys. Let's be mindful. All right, Sagittarius, let's see what's going on with you over the next week. What is going on with Sagittarius over the next week? What kind of energy will Sagittarius encounter over the next week? Okay, Sagittarius, you have the Four of Cups, so you may be feeling extremely apathetic at this point. You're really detached from what is going on in your life. There are some things that have occurred either recently or in the past, and it's like you're so consumed with the grief of what has happened, or the trauma, or whatever negative feelings that coincide with what has happened, that it really makes you hard to appreciate what's going on around you now. And you need to be careful because this vibe may cause you to repeat the same mistake, because it's quite possible you didn't appreciate the situation before because you were also in this apathy vibe. And now you're just repeating the cycle. So you need to kind of take a moment to check yourself and be like, and see if this vibe is actually productive, or has it been counterproductive to the things you want in your life, things you want to achieve. See what's going on in your love life, Sagittarius. Okay, you have the Two of Wands. So you may have a few different directions you can go in your love life, and you're not entirely sure what to do. So it may be a should I stay or should I go situation. You're inclined to go because you're not really feeling optimistic about relationships, but at the same time, you feel the connection here. So this is a situation that could definitely be sabotaged by these feelings of apathy, like this kind of lack of hope, this pessimism that you are carrying. It could definitely be spilling out and echoing into this relationship or potential relationship. And be careful because this may be a situation where you may regret it long term. So it's like now you may be regretting certain things in your life, and that has you feeling apathetic and not really caring about the things that are going on around you now. And in time, you will probably regret that, what's happening in the present, because you're missing out on this person, seeing this situation, because you're feeling just pessimistic in general. Um, if if you have been dealing with difficulties in a partnership, you're definitely in this should I stay or should I go part, and you're just starting to become so detached from the situation because it's been so difficult that you're leaning more towards the going, because again you're becoming detached, and it's like when you're with somebody you're supposed to be connected emotionally, intimately, and you just do not feel a connection at all. You don't really care. And so you're trying to decide if you need to just release you and this person, or if you want to stay and figure it out over time. Okay, then. Let's see what is going on with my Cappy. What is going on with Capricorn over the next week? What kind of energy will Capricorn encounter over the next week? What is going on with Capricorn? All right, Capricorn, you have the Fool card. So at the moment, you're not really sure what's going to happen, where you're going. there's really no certainty. You're kind of just stepping into the great unknown right now, kind of taking a risk. Because of that, since you don't really know what's going to happen as a result of the actions you're taking now, you're definitely taking risks. Um, because things could potentially go good in a positive direction, but things could potentially go way, 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 way wrong to where it could cause some permanent damage. Um, but it's looking like you feel like the risk is worth taking, basically. You're just going to have faith that everything will work out for you. There we go again, you guys, that vibe again. You just kind of trust the universe that no matter what direction you're going in, it's the right direction. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Capricorn. What is going on in Capricorn's love life over the next week? What does Capricorn have in their love life? Capricorn, we have the Eight of Wands. So there may be some communication that occurs between you and a partner or a potential person that kind of moves the relationship forward. So it leads to more progress. Um, However, there are some of you where like there's really no progress being made at all because there is some sort of block between you and this person. And if there's not like, oh, they blocked you, there's just not communication going on there. And but you do have these feelings, so it's kind of like you're keeping that option open. You don't know what's going to happen, but you're open to it. But at the moment, there's no communication going. Some of you, you're just really not making any progress or moving forward in your love life in general because there are certain things about you, your personality, and the way you behave in relationships that you are not seeing, and they are detrimental, and you keep repeating them. So until you are able to recognize this and work to change it, you're going to keep continuing to repeat the same um, mistakes moving forward. To become aware, work to become aware. All right, let's see what is going on with Aquarius. What is up with Aquarius over the next week? What kind of energy will Aquarius encounter over the next week? How will it affect them? What's going on? Okay, we have the Magician. So, right now, you are really focused on manifesting the reality that you desire. There are goals that you have that you are trying to achieve, and you are going after them. You are making active strides. If you're not currently making active strides, you are planning out the actions that you are going to make. You're just really focused on manifesting your reality right now. You may feel some sort of calling, some sort of, again, connection to the universe as if you are just following its lead. You're walking in a specific direction. You know where you want to go, but you don't know where this direction will lead. So, but you're pretty determined about moving forward with it. Those of you who do not already have a plan of action, I think that you will encounter something that you'll be very called to do, something that you will have a very deep connection to, and you may want to educate yourself more in regards to it. See what's going on in your love life, Aquarius. What is going on in Aquarius's love life over the next week? All right, Aquarius, you have the Six of Wands. So if you and your partner have been having a disagreement of some sort, they're going to finally see your point of view. They will see your perspective. There will be a greater understanding. And you know what? It may be mutual. You may be finally able to see where they're coming from as well. This is just bringing attention to something that needs to be acknowledged between the two of you in regards to how your personalities interact and whatnot. Um, it's just part of the getting to know you process, I think, and work how you choose to work on a relationship, because a relationship constantly evolves over time. If you're really staying with somebody long term, it evolves over time, and you got to go through these periods where you work through difficulties, have difficult conversations, where you have differing opinions, that may not go as smoothly as you would like them to. Some of you who are single, you may be feeling really good about yourself, feeling very, very confident. You're getting a lot of attention from, I was going to say the opposite sex, but I'd say both. Honestly, both the opposite and the same sex. You get a lot of attention. You're very, very um, physically attractive. And if you're not entirely physically attractive, who you are is so attractive, it doesn't matter how you look. You just have so much charisma. There are some of you who will be going after um, someone, pursuing them, and you're going to get them. You're going to get what you want. You will have success. They will recognize you. They will see you, and you will definitely catch their eye, for sure. All right, and last but not least, let's go to our patient Pisces. All right, let's see what's going on with Pisces over the next week. What kind of energy will Pisces encounter over the next week? What is going on with Pisces? Pisces, you have the King of Wands energy, so very determined, focused, passionate, extremely headstrong. You know what you want to do, you're going after it. You're not really going to listen to very many people who tell you otherwise. Just be aware of that, because there are other people that may have some really good ideas about how to move forward with this that you could completely ignore because you're so stuck in this you mindset. You're more in a selfish mindset. You're not being very considerate to the people around you. And that's something that you should check, because nobody likes working with somebody who's an inconsiderate asshole. Some of you may not even care. Like, you may not even care what other people think about you. You may not care if they get their feelings hurt. You just don't care, which is very interesting because you're Pisces. And Pisceans really typically usually care about how other people feel. But you're at a point right now where you just don't give a fuck. You're over it. You are quick to tell somebody off. You're just, I feel like some of you, it may be a situation where you are standing up for yourself after dealing with some bullshit for some time. So you're tired of dealing with bullshit, and right now you're gassing yourself up. Like, even if you don't feel truly confident in who you are, you're faking it. You're faking it until you make it. Hey, and that works. It does. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Pisces. What's going on in Pisces love life? Pisces, you have the Queen of Swords, so you're a little less emotionally available than you typically are in relationships. You are most definitely shut off. This could be concerning to your partner because they're not used to it. Um, but, I can't help but think that this is also a situation where you are standing up for yourself again. Perhaps your partner does a bunch of stuff and they're used to you still being emotionally attentive and affectionate, etc., etc. But now that's not happening. Now they're doing shit and you're withdrawing your emotion and your affection, and they don't like it. but you don't care. You're at a point where you don't fucking care how they feel. You are worried about you. They've been worried about them this whole time and have not been concerned about you. So it's time for you to put you first. That's how you're thinking. It's time for me to put me first. And if they feel some type of way about it, I'm sorry. You're just not emotionally available in the ways that you have been in the past. So like even if you were single, it's you've had to deal with people like that in the past, and so you're feeling kind of negative just in general about dating in general. You're feeling kind of negative, you're extremely emotionally unavailable. And what it comes down to is there's a lot of shit that has happened that you have not worked through, you have not dealt with. And until you actively do that, I fear that you will maintain a level of arrogance and emotional unavailability that will definitely be counterproductive to a relationship that could potentially mean a lot to you. So be wary of that, you guys. Um, those are your readings. I hope they resonate for accuracy purposes, and I'll see you guys again very soon, okay?